Finally, version 10 is here. Version 10 is here. It's Tesla's biggest update to date in terms of the amount of features and functionality that they're releasing in a singular release. We're going to dive into it and dive into all of it, but we're going to break it up into individual videos, okay? So right now we're going to start with the UI, what's changed, what's new, and then we'll jump into other videos from there. So stay tuned. Okay, so we're talking about version 10. As you see here are the release notes. We're going to go through them one by one, or group by group, if you will. But we're going to start first with what has changed in version 10. What's different in the UI and what has changed in terms of version 10. Obviously, the visualization has changed. We're not going to talk about that until we talk about autopilot. Maps and improvement, we're also going to talk about that with autopilot as well. But we can also talk about software update improvements, how they've updated the experience. We can talk about Bluetooth media improvements, as well as the application launcher and driver profile. So looking at this little group right here, we're talking about having software updates be more informative for the driver. Typically what happens is when Tesla sends an update, it downloads over Wi-Fi. Used to download over LTE, but now it downloads over Wi-Fi, and you're blind. It just says a software update is available. You have no insight into what that software update is. Tesla's improving that. They've heard the feedback and they're saying, hey, we're going to give you some visualization. We're going to make it a lot more graceful and stylish by being able to, one, show you what update is updating on your car, both on the touchscreen as it updates, as well as your mobile application. But then also to be able to show you the version number and show you the progress of that. So you can monitor the progress of the update as it happens. So this is really great, really good improvement, helps add visibility. What that looks like here is basically when you go to software, you automatically now start to get checking for updates, right? Before, it just used to say your software is up to date, but now it's actively checking for updates to see if there's anything new. And if there's something new, it'll tell you right here, and you can choose to update it. Once you update it, it'll show you the progress of that update on the touchscreen. The whole screen will go dark. It'll show your progress bar as well as the version number. And on the actual mobile app, it'll also show you the progress. When you look at your check status, it'll show you the progress as well as the version number. So that's very useful for that. Okay, next thing we're talking about is Bluetooth media improvements. This is basically allowing you to be able to show and pull album art when you're streaming over Bluetooth. Typically, if you have music on your phone, files on your phone, or you're streaming somewhere, you typically couldn't get that on your actual UI for the media player. It would just be blank. They're able to pull the associated album art as well as stream at a higher rate. So that means that the Bluetooth audio sounds a lot better now that this update has come into place. In addition to this, we get a new application launcher, which is basically saying that, hey, we've modified some icons, and we've also rearranged the icons to be a little bit more intuitive. So as you see here, the icons come up, and now the call button is closer to where your hand needs to be, as opposed to reaching all the way over. Calendar is accessible as well, right at your fingertips, closest to where your hand is going to be versus having to go over here. Charging and web have been moved over a little bit, and then the camera is also easily accessible as well. Camera used to be over here as well. We've also got the entertainment button, which is specifically for videos and arcade, and then the toy box for all the Easter eggs are still there. All right, the other thing it says is driver profiles. In addition to seat mirrors and steering wheel position, your car automatically saves many settings to your driver profile. With this release, you can now see when a setting is saved to the selected driver profile in the status bar location at the top of your screen. In terms of the UI, what we're talking about here is the same familiar UI, what we'll have here. Everything else is the same here. Suspension settings are the same. Lights are the same. Driving is all the same. No new features here. Autopilot is mostly the same, except for we now have some additional summon functionality, which we'll talk about in the summon video. But otherwise, the UI for this is the same. Vehicle is also the same. All the options are still the same here. Display is also the same. Nothing different, nothing changed. Trips as well. Navigation, all the same here. No difference, no updates here. Safety and security has changed, right? So now we have Joe mode. This Joe mode allows the quieter chimes to continue to alert the driver effectively and minimize disruption to the passengers. example is Joe's kids. I'm not sure what the analogy is here, but this is the quieter mode for all of your chimes and beeps. And then your service mode is also changed, again, from the last update. Wheel configuration is here. Key fob update is here as well, so you can update your key fob, as we mentioned in the last update, and then also the wheel configuration. One thing that's missing is that we can't reset the tire pressure monitor system anymore from here. You can only select the type of wheel that you have, and then the style of, so the size of the wheel, and then the type of the wheel. You can't reset the tire pressure sensors like you used to before. Okay, so that's different and also changed. Software update, again, is the same. Again, just actively checking for updates as you press this button, or even actively in the background. Who knows what happens there. Okay, so one of the things we notice about software updates here is the fact that it looks like Tesla seeded this update. And what I mean by that from a software perspective is that they have slowly sent the background building blocks of what this update entails behind the scenes in the 32 dot releases that they've sent over. The initial 32 dot release was about 50-minute install, and then there were potentially, depending on your configuration, multiple iterations, multiple increments of that update being installed: 32.2, .2.2.1, so on and so forth. And those were seeding this version 10. So now the software update for version 10 is a 25-minute install, which makes it very quick and very easy. And I like that. I like that a lot, because it allows them to very quickly and easily update a lot of cars, and allows your car to be able to update to version 10 very quickly. So now you basically have a brand new car with brand new features and functionality, lots of them, very quickly in a matter of 25 minutes, as opposed to the big update, which it used to be, which was 50 minutes or an hour plus time to update a major software update from version 8 to version 9, so on and so forth. Okay, so that was pretty cool. But that's pretty much it. Everything else that you see here on the screen has pretty much been the same. I think navigation, we'll talk about this as well once we get there. Again, the menu icons are here for the new functionality for the most part. But otherwise, it's pretty much the same. Everything else also seems the same. Media also comes up with the new options that we talked about, Spotify, as well as karaoke, which again, we'll talk about when we talk about media. But for the most part, in terms of the user interface, everything is the same that you see here. The bar down here is also the same. Maybe one thing that's the things that change, we can still do things like split media with the camera. So we have that sort of split view, right? We still have that, so that's good. So we can keep the camera up while the media is below. But what we lost was the ability to take the web browser and minimize this to bring it down a little lower. It now just opens fully or closes, which I don't think is that great. I think we should get the ability to bring it down lower, because if you're in a Model S or X, you have the split screen. Minimizing it lower could have videos and content looking like this, as opposed to looking like this, right? So if I have a YouTube or some video service up here in my browser and I want the minimized view of it, this could be really good. Now I can see my map, I can see my navigation while driving. If I choose a supercharger, this is what it shows me. I'm compromised here. I want to be able to bring this back down where it used to be and bring it here. But right now it doesn't do that. It doesn't stick. It doesn't hold its position here. And I can't effectively have a minimized browser and show the actual navigation. I let it go, it goes away. I press it again, it comes up full screen. So that's one of the things that's changed. Probably not for the better. Hopefully Tesla can bring this back and bring back the ability to partition it. All right, so that's pretty much it in terms of the UI and what has changed visually. Again, not talking about autopilot and the visualization on the instrument cluster, just talking about the core UI. That's pretty much it. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know if you have version 10, what you think. Let me know if you spotted anything else that may have changed in the UI that I might have missed. Okay? Until the next video, we got a lot more videos coming out about version 10. We're going to go deep on each of the different components or each of the different areas that there have been updates. And we'll check you in the next video very soon. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your Tesla.